Hi, Mrs. Stanley here. Let's talk about point-slope form and writing equations of lines. Specifically, as the objective says, we're going to write the equation of a line passing through a point and parallel or perpendicular to a given line. Before we can do that, let's look at what is point-slope form. When given a point, x1, y1, through which the line passes, and the slope of the line m, we can write the equation in point-slope form. Point-slope form looks like this. You have y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So notice the m is outside parentheses, and the y1 and x1 is the point that you're given. The x and y are actually just going to stay x and y. So then there's a little asterisk here. It says distribute and solve for y to write the equation in slope-intercept form. Let's just look at some examples. The directions are here. Write the linear equation in slope-intercept form. So here, notice that we are given a point and a slope. So we're just going to use this formula, point-slope form. Y is just the letter y, minus y1, in this case is 1, equals 2, which is the slope, times x minus 4. So these are using the point 4, 1 and slope 2. And then we're just going to distribute the 2. Y minus 1 equals 2x minus 8. And then we need to add this 1 to get the y by itself. Negative 8 plus 1 would be negative 7. So we get y equals 2x minus 7, and that would be our answer. It is in slope-intercept form now. So I'll do one more with you, and then we'll just continue. Looking at number 2, we can do the same thing. We have the point 2, 4, and the slope is 1/2. So I say y minus the y in the point equals the slope times x minus the x in the point. Then we distribute. So we get 1/2 x minus 1/2 times 2 is just 1. And then we add 4 to both sides. 4 minus 1 is 3, so we get plus 3. So the answer is y equals 1/2 x plus 3. I think that you've got the hang of that. So we're going to jump down. You can do 3 and 4 by yourself, and we will go to number 5. The only difference here is that we are given 2 points instead of given the slope. So we need to use the slope formula. If you remember slope formula, and then we can use that slope and one of the points. You can pick either one. So let's look at it for example. First, m equals 7 plus 1 over negative 3 minus 1. So I've got 8 over negative 4, which is going to give me a slope of negative 2. And then I can pick either point. And so I'll just plug it in. Using the first one, I would get y minus 7 equals negative 2 times x plus 3 because it's minus negative 3. And so I would get negative 2x minus 6, add 7 to both sides, and I get plus 1. Now, just for the sake of proving a point here, I'm going to use the other point and show you what happens. If I do y plus 1 equals negative 2 times x minus 1, I distribute the negative 2. Negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2. Subtract the 1 from both sides. Notice my answer right here and my answer right here. They are exactly the same. And this is why I said you can pick either point. When you're plugging it in for point slope form, pick either point. They will simplify down to be the same. So you do not have to do it twice. This was just to show that it does actually work out to be the same. So let's try one more. Let's go to number 6. And we're going to do the slope first. That's what we've got to start with. And so starting just with the slope, m equals negative 4 plus 7 over 3 plus 6. Negative 4 plus 7 is just 3. 6 plus 3 is 9. So my slope is 1/3. And then I can use either point, pick the one. You might pick the one that looks the easiest, or just always pick the first one. It doesn't matter. So y plus 4 equals 1/3 times x minus 3. So then I distribute 1/3 x, and 1/3 times 3 is just 1. Then I need to subtract 4 on both sides, and I am left with 1/3 x minus 5. I am going to leave number 7 and 8 for you to try on your own and jump down to the next section, parallel lines. So here we go. Write the equation of the line that is parallel to y equals 2x plus 4 and passes through the point -4, -1. So over here on this side, I'm going to make some notes. Remember, for point slope form, in order to do point slope form, we need a slope and a point. That's what this means. Literally, look at it. So right here, this is a slope. We need m. And then this one right here is a point. We need one point, right? We need 1, x, and y. With that information, we can write our equation. So we want it to be parallel. What do we know about parallel lines? They have the same slope. So I can look at the line they gave me and see m equals 2. And they gave me a point, -4, -1, right? So x equals -4 and y equals -1. All I have to do now is point slope form. Y minus the y gives me +1 equals 2, that's the slope. X minus -4 gives me +4. I can distribute y plus 1 equals 2x plus 8. Subtract the 1 on both sides, and I'm left with 2x plus 7, and that's my final answer. Okay? So notice what happened there. They told me the slope when they gave me the equation, and then they gave me a point. So I could do that. On this one, number 10, very much the same thing. It says a line parallel. Write the equation of the line that is parallel to x minus 3y equals 9. So that's my equation. The only difference here is that I don't have y by itself and passes through the point 3, -1. So I have a point, but I need the slope. Do you remember how to get the slope here? This is in standard form. Remember what we said? When it's in standard form, we get y by itself. So I've got -3y equals -x plus 9. Divide everything by -3, and I get 1/3 x minus 9 divided by 3 is 3. So what's my slope? M equals 1/3. So now I have a point and I have the slope. Y plus 1, because the y is -1, equals 1/3 x minus 3. So we've got y plus 1 equals 1/3 x. 1/3 times 3 is just 1, so it's just going to be -1, and then I've got to subtract this 1 from the y, get it to the other side. 1/3 x minus 2. I'm going to leave number 11 for you to try on your own, and come down here to number 12, and what does it say? Write the equation of the line that is perpendicular to y equals 3/4 x minus 1. And passes through the point 3, -3. So this time they've given me a point. They've given me this equation in slope-intercept form, but what does that tell me? If this slope is m, what's going to be the slope of my perpendicular line? Remember this right here. I'm going to write it over here on the side. Negative reciprocal. So instead of 3/4, we flip it over. We change the sign. It's positive, so it becomes negative. And then I have a point. So again, all I'm doing is y minus -3 would be +3 equals -4/3 x minus 3. I can distribute first. -4/3 x. 4/3 times 3 is just 4. Because the 3's would divide out to be 1. 4 times 1 is 4. The negatives would also cancel out, so I just have +1. And then I've got to subtract my 3. So I have y equals -4/3 x. 1 minus 3 is -2. And that's my answer. Correct? Okay, I made a mistake back here. Did anybody notice? Right here, this is not 1. Now, how did I know? I just looked at the answer key. Remember, you have the answer key to check your work. I checked my work and I was like, wait a minute, I got a different answer. Let me look. I don't know if I said it out loud correctly. 4/3 times 3. The 3's cancel out and I'm left with 4, not 1. I wrote a 1. I don't know what I said out loud. You guys know sometimes I say it out loud correctly and I write it down wrong. So this should be 4 And then when I subtract 3, 4 minus 3 is positive 1. So this is a great example of why I give you the answer keys. Not because if you got it wrong, you're a mess, but because if you got it wrong, you can quickly double check yourself and say, oh, here's what I did wrong, and then redo it. It's no problem. So I'm going to let you do 13 and 14. Remember, on both of these, you first need to find you need to get y by itself, because they're still asking what is the equation of the line that is perpendicular to this line and passes through the point 7,3, but this is in standard form, x plus y equals negative 5. So you should be able to go ahead and do that on your own and check your work. And we will jump down here to the last section, perpendicular bisectors. This is going to be a little bit harder, but we can do it. There's just more steps is what I mean by harder. Just a little bit more work. AB is formed by the points A is negative 1, 4. So I'm going to go negative 1 for x and up to positive 4. This is A. And B is 5, negative 2. So I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down 2. Here's B. So this is my line AB. Okay. So AB is formed by these 2 points. If line L is the perpendicular bisector, that wasn't a good underline, let me highlight. Perpendicular bisector of AB, write a linear equation for L in slope-intercept form. Graph both AB, yay, we already graphed it, and L to confirm your answer graphically. So here's what I need to know. First of all, it's a perpendicular bisector. So perpendicular means I need the negative reciprocal slope. So I know I need the slope of AB. Let's find it. So I've got negative 2 minus 4 over 5 plus 1, because it's minus negative 1. So I've got negative 2 minus 4 is negative 6 over 5 plus 1 is 6. So my slope is negative 1. So great news. What's the perpendicular bisector? So the perpendicular bisector has an m of just 1, right? Because think about it, negative 1 over 1, flip it over, 1 over 1 still, and then we change the sign. So it's just going to be 1. So m equals 1. The other thing that you might not remember, but think early in the year, if something is a bisector, that means it cuts it in half. So we need to know what point is the middle of this line. See, we need to know the midpoint. And actually, I realize I just took the time to write that out, but let me change color of my pen here so that things will show up more easily to see. The midpoint, remember for midpoint, we just add the x's, divide by 2, add the y's, divide by 2. So we've got the x's are negative 1 plus 5 over 2. Let me give us a little more space because I should have written, so sorry. Okay, so now let's write in, we've got x equals negative 1 plus 5 divided by 2, which equals 4 over 2, which equals 2. So the midpoint for x is 2, and for y, we've got 4 plus negative 2 over 2. Well, 4 minus 2 is 2, so we've got 2 over 2 equals 1. So our midpoint is 2, 1. So let's find that. Over 2, up 1. That's right here. That looks nice. It fits right on our line. Perfect. So now I've got this line, this perpendicular bisector, m equals 1, and I need to use the midpoint, for example, as the point it passes through with a slope of m equals 1. So if I use point slope form, y minus the y is 1 equals the slope is 1 times x plus 2, right? I'm sorry, x minus 2, because that's a positive 2, it's not a negative. So this is x minus 2. Distribute the 1. We have y minus 1 equals x minus 2. I've got to add that 1. So my final answer is x, negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. So y equals x minus 1. I can graph that. X minus 1, the minus 1 is the intercept. And the slope is 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. That gets me right where I need to be. So that means my equation looks like this. My graph looks like this. Those look pretty much like bisectors, don't they? They look perpendicular, and the blue line looks like it's cut right in half. That is great. So here's what I would suggest for you. Let's look at number 16. XY, line XY is formed by X, -9, -7, and Y, -3, 5. If line J is the perpendicular bisector of XY, write a linear equation for J in slope-intercept form. Graph both line XY and J to confirm your answer graphically. So this time we were given 2 points, X and Y. So remember, we need to find the slope. M equals, now go ahead and pause if you want to try this on your own. I really challenge you to do that. Just try it on your own and see how you do, because this is a really good question to think through. But also you have the answer key, so you could even just stop the video, do it on your own, and go check the answer key. Part of me really wants to just stop the video, but I know with only one example and so many steps, it might be a little bit harder. So pause and try it one step at a time. We're going to find the slope first. 5 plus 7 over -3 plus 9. 5 plus 7 is 12. -3 plus 9 is 6. So the slope is 2. What does that mean? My perpendicular bisector is going to have a slope of 1 over 2, because we switched it, right? It was 2 over 1. So that becomes 1 over 2, and we make it negative. So -1 over 2. I'm going to change my color to do the midpoint. So the midpoint is going to be for X, we've got -9 plus -3 over 2. That's going to give me -9 plus -3 is 12. -12 over 2 is going to give me -6. And then for Y, I've got -7 plus 5 over 2. Well, -7 plus 5 is -2 over 2 equals -1. So my midpoint is -6, -1. And then the last thing is go ahead and write the equation for the perpendicular bisector. So I've got, let me change the color for this, just so that it shows up a little better. So for the perpendicular bisector, we've got Y plus 1 equals the slope we said is -1/2. X minus -6 is going to be +6. Distribute that out. Y plus 1 equals -1/2 X. 1/2 times 6 is going to be -3. And then we've got to subtract the 1. So we're going to have -1/2 X. -3 minus 1 is -4. And that's going to be our answer right there for the perpendicular bisector. So let's graph it. The first one, we'll just graph this perpendicular bisector. It's at X equals -4. B is -4. And then the slope is -1/2. So that means we're going to go down 1 and over 2 right here. Down 1, over 2, down 1, over 2. Get enough points that you feel like you can reasonably draw a straight line. And then the other one, we had the 2 points, -9 and -7. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, let me change colors. So -7 is right here. Let me double check. Yes, that's -9, -7. And then we had -3, 5. So I go -3 and up 5. So the bad news is, oh wait, where was our midpoint? -6, -1. Let's plot that one too. Something's not right, because that point doesn't look quite right, does it? Let's see, -6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, down 1. I must have gone the wrong way on this -9, 7. I mean, I must have not gone far enough. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here we go. That looks much better. I was in the wrong place. Get the straight line. Now, it's hard to tell. Looking at the orange one, it should come up like this. Those are perpendicular bisectors. And we are finished. So all you have to do is go back and do these problems that I've randomly skipped for you. Finish it up, and you can use the answer key to assist you as you check your work.